Hi, this is Steve DeMasi, and welcome back to Uncharted DIY. Today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing a portable air conditioner from Keystone. Keystone sent this to me for review, but this is not a sponsored video. Now, I've been looking forward to checking this out because this has a function in it that I've never seen before. Not only does it cool, it dehumidifies, and it has the fan setting, but it's also got a built-in heater, which might make this potentially useful year-round. So first we'll start by unboxing, seeing what's in the package, and how everything is set up. Then we'll go over the functions. Then we're going to install it in the window and actually try this out and see how well it works. And finally, I'll give you my final impressions at the end of the video. So let's get started. So a portable air conditioner is perfect for my situation. My office downstairs can't be reached by the central air conditioning, and it gets so hot in there I can barely work. This will allow me to treat just that room, so I don't have to heat or cool the whole house. Okay, we've got the exhaust hose. One of the things that already stands out to me is that these end pieces are connected to the hose. Last one I bought, I had a really hard time getting them to not only connect, but stay together. So I love that this is already assembled for me. Inside we've got this is a drain hose. And we've got the instruction manual and a remote. It also thoughtfully comes with batteries, so I don't have to go find some before I even try this out. We also have the window adapter. And the air conditioner itself. This was thoughtfully packaged. Once the straps were cut, I was able to just lift the whole box off instead of having to try to lift this out of the box. So that's nice. This is a good looking unit. This is smaller than I was expecting. And the nice thing is too, this heater function in here doesn't add any more size to the size of the cabinet, and it only adds 1 pound to the weight of the machine. I love how minimalistic it is. This will just blend right into almost any environment. Even though this weighs 76 pounds, it's really light on its wheels. And it's got built-in handles on the sides here, so it's easy to move around from place to place and move it right where you need it to be. On top is the control panel. And here's the back. We've got the exhaust hose here. We've got a couple of drains. We've got a cord wrap. And it looks like this area is where the washable filter is. I love that this has a completely flat control panel. There's no raised buttons to collect dirt and dust. This is the power button. The filter reset light will come on when it's time to wash your filter. And once you've done that, you can press the filter reset to turn that light out. You have the fan speed settings. So you've got auto, low, medium, and high. This window indicates what your current temperature setting is. You can lower that and raise that with the minus and plus buttons. And you've got the mode. So you've got the automatic mode, which will turn it to heat or to cool depending on what's needed. You've got the snowflake here for the cool, the water drop for dehumidification, the fan for fan only settings, and the sun for the heat mode. The sleep function will not only dim the lights on the control panel, it also will gradually increase the temperature as you sleep. So as your body cools down, the temperature rises a little bit. This not only helps you sleep, but it saves on energy while you're sleeping. This is a 24-hour timer for turning the unit on or off. And we have the swing function, which allows the air to circulate. Now, let's get this installed so we can try out all the functions. Connecting the exhaust hose is really fast. This just gets inserted into this socket and give it a twist, and that's it. Next, we'll install the window vent. The window vent will accommodate between 27 inches and 47 inches, and it works for vertical and for horizontal sliding windows. The window piece just fits into the window frame like this. In my case, the window is a little too short, so this adjustable slider here is actually only able to go to here, and I'm not going to be able to connect the vent hose. So I'm going to need to take this piece out and trim it down slightly. Now, with about 4 inches taken off this extension piece, this should fit the window perfectly. This didn't come with any foam weather strip, so for long-term use, what I'm going to do is put a piece of foam along the side, the length that I need, and then I'll do this on the other side too. That'll keep any air gaps out and any potential for bugs coming in. Since I don't have any weather strip handy, I'm going to go ahead and install it without for now. So this lip here will extend over the window frame on this side, like that. So it sits right inside the window frame. And then the extension piece comes up, and you take a screwdriver and just tighten these 2 screws to keep it in place. When the window slides shut, it sits right on the frame and it seals pretty nicely. But once the weather stripping is in, the 2 little gaps here at the top will go away. With this in the window, the sash locks no longer are able to lock. And so what I'm going to do is just take a small dowel here and put this in the window frame. I will trim it to just the right length where it keeps the window from being slid open. Now with the window vent kit in place, all we need to do is attach the exhaust hose. So this stretches out up to about 5 feet, so it'll fit most windows. Just to make things easy, I'm going to go ahead and pull this back out and snap this on while it's out. The exhaust hose just lines up with the hole in the vent. So once that's on, you just give it a push and it snaps into place. Now we can just slide this right back into the window frame. That's a problem. All right, I encountered one small problem here, and that's that because of the way this piece is designed, you can see this part sticks out. And this can only fit into this window frame in one direction. So when I put it in like this, and I snap it on, you can see that this part of the exhaust hose protrudes past this edge of the window. And in my case, I don't have enough window frame here to let this sit completely flush. To verify that this was a problem only in a poorly installed window like mine, I went ahead and tried this in another window, and as you can see, it fits fine. The weather stripping will have no problem taking care of these tiny gaps. But this window doesn't have the space to try out the air conditioner in, so we'll put this back in the other one. So this did install in the window, but because I have such a small amount of frame on the edge of my window, I had to make some accommodations. So this gap up here that you can see, I am going to need to put weather stripping in that for long-term use. With this back in the window, now we can try this out. Let's start with turning the unit on with the remote control. And that's pretty slick. I like that this opens automatically. My last one didn't, and there were times that I'd start it and it was closed, and it would just sit there making a bunch of noise and wasting energy without actually cooling anything. This window in the remote displays that currently it's set for 72 degrees, but what's really cool is that this remote is actually a remote thermostat. So when you press this I feel button, it now uses this as the thermostat to make sure that if you're clear across the room and it's not 72 degrees over there, it's going to make sure that it doesn't shut off until it is 72 degrees. That's a really slick feature. When the I feel button is in the set mode, like it is now, it says set, and then you can actually set your temperature. And then when you press again, it says room, and that's what temperature it is right here at the remote. So this can follow you around the room and make sure that wherever you're at is the proper temperature. Any of the functions that are available on a control panel are also available on this remote. But there's a few buttons on here that don't actually do anything with this particular unit. And that's because this is a universal remote. Now, Keystone has assured me that they're going to include a sheet with specific information about the remote for each type of machine. I like too that the sleep function and the timer function are available right here on the remote. So if you're already in bed, you don't have to get up to adjust the air conditioner. The temperature in here is pretty mild today, so We're going to first put this into the heat mode and get the room nice and warm, and then we'll put it into cooling mode and cool it down and see how it does. We're also going to check out the fan speed settings with the anemometer, and we're going to check the volume level of the various settings with the decibel meter. I've attached some streamers here to make it easier to visualize how much air is coming out of this unit. We'll start by turning on the power and setting the mode to heat. We'll set our temperature, our target temperature at 84, which is pretty warm. So the compressor just kicked in. It's not quite heating yet, but it will in a minute here. And there it goes. Oh, there's definitely warm air coming out of there already. The temperature outside is currently 80.2. And this is now coming out at 101.6. The reason that the heater in this portable is so energy efficient is because it's not a resistive heater with the coils that heat up. Instead, this is a heat pump. So what it's doing is it's actually removing the cold air out of the room and pushing it outside, and then blowing the remaining hot air back into the room. Because this heat pump is so efficient, this ends up being 3 times more efficient than a resistant heater. This has been running for about 4 minutes now, and we're up to 113.9. So this is definitely putting out some heat. And the exhaust hose is getting really cool to the touch. You can definitely tell it's moving the cold air out of the house. It's been about 8 or 9 minutes now, and this temperature is set for 84 degrees, and the current temperature in here is 83.9. So this is working quite well. And the air coming out of the vent here is 139 degrees. So let's go ahead and turn this onto the cool setting. It's getting pretty warm in here. All right, now we're on the snowflake setting on the control panel. Now the heat is being removed from the room and sent outside, and the cool air is being blown back into the room. It's been about 8 minutes, and we're down to 76 degrees. The temperature coming out of here is 35.4. That's pretty cold. The temperature of the exhaust hose is 109. So you can definitely tell this is pumping a lot of cool air out into the room, and all the heat is going outside. Now you can see on the thermal, it's the exact opposite. The dark area there is the cold, and now the exhaust hose is hot. Given the amount of heat that's coming off of this exhaust hose, I'm thinking this might be a good idea to put some pipe insulation around this, but we'll try that another day. The compressor shut off, meaning that it reached its temperature of 72 degrees right at about the 12-minute mark. Now we're going to find out exactly how quiet this machine is. I was just holding this at the camera, so it's not scientifically valid, but I was getting a reading of 57 with this in the high-speed fan mode on cool. So that's really quiet. I'm surprised. We'll go to medium. That reads 55.4. Let's try it in the low mode. And that was 53. Let's try this without the cool mode. We'll just go into fan setting. In the fan setting on high, it read 56.3. On medium, it read 55.3. On the low setting, this read 52.6. That's about the volume of rainfall, whereas a normal conversation is about 60 decibels. So this is really quiet. Let's see how much difference the fan speed settings actually make. So this is currently set on fan only on high, and we're reading 15.4. On medium, we're at 13.6, and on low, we're at 12.2. Unlike my older portable unit, the speed settings on this one actually make a difference. The difference between the settings on the other one were almost imperceptible. The drain hose included with the air conditioner doesn't really apply in my climate. This would be necessary if you had a very high amount of humidity and you were running this in the dehumidification setting. Otherwise, excess moisture is removed through the self-evaporation function of the air conditioner. If it can't keep up with excess moisture due to high humidity, it'll tell you when you need to empty the reservoir. Now I'll give you my final thoughts on this Keystone portable air conditioner. If there was anything I would change about this unit, one would be to include insulation with the installation kit. It'd be nice if there was a place to stow the remote control when it's not in use. Either a slot in the machine that this might plug into, or a magnetic attachment would be nice so I don't have to keep an eye on where the remote control is gone. And finally, the unused buttons on the remote control did make it a bit confusing, but Keystone is already addressing this issue. This has a great combination of features and some thoughtful touches. I really like how compact and sleek this unit is. I love that there's nothing on the front of it, and when it's off and this vent is closed, it just blends right in to the environment. The swing function is a great addition, and it really helps move the air around the room. And the best part is, I don't have to remember to open it when I turn the machine on. The sleep mode is a great feature that wasn't included on my older one. I love that you can turn the display off at night so you don't have to have the bright lights in your room. The I feel setting that not only allows me to set the temperature and see the current temperature in the room, but it follows me around wherever this remote goes, is a great feature. This Keystone portable air conditioner packs a lot of great features, including heat, into a great looking package that's nice and compact and sleek, and I can highly recommend it. This is Steve, and thanks for watching Uncharted DIY.